Hello students, welcome back to our video. So in the last video, we completed with the chapter number 7. So from today onwards, we are going to start with a new chapter, that is chapter number 8, Journal Proper. In this chapter, you guys are going to learn about the meaning of Journal Proper, then how to record the transactions in Journal Proper, transactions of inter-accounts transfer, closing entries, adjustment entries, and the rectification of errors. So now let's start first with the introduction. So you all know that you guys studied different subsidiary books in the chapter on subsidiary books. So you all know what is subsidiary books and which are the subsidiary books. So first one is purchase book, purchase return book, sales book, sales return book, then bills payable book, bills receivable book, petty cash book, and journal proper. So these are the following subsidiary books. So what is journal proper? So journal proper is kept in order to record those transactions. Which cannot be recorded in the purchase book, sales book, purchase return book, sales return book, cash book, petty cash book, bills receivable book, or the bills payable book. So journal proper is used to record those transactions which cannot be recorded in the other subsidiary books. That is known as journal proper. For example, furniture sold to Parthiv for ₹5,000. This transaction is of credit sale of furniture. So furniture which is sold to Parthiv, this is the credit sales of furniture, which is not recorded in any of the subsidiary books, and hence such business transactions are recorded in journal proper, which is a part of subsidiary books. Got it? So you all know that if any assets sold on credit is not recorded in the sales book nor in the cash book. So this transaction is not recorded in any of the subsidiary books. Therefore, it is recorded in the journal proper, which is also a part of subsidiary books. That is known as journal proper. Now let's see the meaning of journal proper. The subsidiary book in which the transactions which are not recorded, the subsidiary books, you all know which are the subsidiary books. So the subsidiary books in which transactions which are not recorded in any other subsidiary books then are recorded in the journal proper, then it is known as journal proper. Journal proper is used for very limited number of transactions. The format of the journal proper is the same as the format prepared to record the journal entries. It has 5 columns, that is date, particulars, LF number, debit amount, and the credit amount. So the format of journal proper is same as the format of the journal entries. So this is the format given. First column would be the date, then second column would be the particulars, then LF number, debit amount column, and credit amount column. And on the top of the table you have to write journal proper of Shri ... Got it? So this is the format of the journal proper. It is the same as the journal entries, journal book. Now third point is transactions recorded in journal proper. We have seen that the transactions which cannot be recorded in any other subsidiary books are recorded in this journal proper. So the different types of transactions recorded in journal proper are given below. So there are different types of transactions which are recorded in the journal proper are of 6 types. There are 6 types of transactions which are recorded in the journal proper, and it is not recorded in the other subsidiary books, but it is only recorded in the journal proper. So in that, the first one is opening entries. Opening entries are always recorded in journal proper. Then second one is transactions not included in the other subsidiary books. Transactions which are not recorded in the other subsidiary books, then it is recorded in the journal proper. Then third one is transactions of inter-account transfer. Then fourth one is closing entries, all the closing entries. Then fifth one is adjustment entries, and sixth one is rectification of errors. So there are 6 types of transactions which are recorded in the journal proper. Now let us look at the meaning of opening entries. Opening entries means when a person starts his business, he brings in personal assets into the business, which is recorded in the journal proper. So when a person starts business, he brings his personal assets into the business, which is recorded in the journal proper. For example, while starting the business, Virendra brought cash of rupees 15,000. So Virendra was going to start a business. Therefore, for starting the business, Virendra brought cash of rupees 15,000, furniture of rupees 10,000, stock of goods of rupees 8,000, and personal letters of rupees 3,000 and personal creditors of rupees 5,000 into the business. So this would be recorded in the journal proper. For starting, if a person brings his personal assets into the business, then it would be recorded in the journal proper. How would you record these transactions in journal proper? So first of all, make the format of journal proper. Date, particulars, LF number, debit amount column, and the credit amount column. So you all know that furniture is coming in the business. Therefore, furniture account would be debited, because debit all the what comes in and what goes out. Debit what comes in and credit what goes out. Then stock of goods is also coming in the business. Therefore it would also be debited. Then debtors would also be debited. Now, Virendra is also bringing creditors, personal creditors. But creditors is a type of creditors business have to repay that money. Therefore, it is considered as going out. Therefore, creditors account will be credited to creditors account because it is going out of the business. Why? Right now it is coming in the business, but in the future the business have to repay that money to the creditors. Therefore, it is credited. Amount would be 5,000. Furniture was for rupees 10,000. Stock of goods of rupees 8,000. Debtors of rupees 3,000. Got it? Okay. Now, why cash? You will notice that Virendra brought cash. Cash also has been brought by Virendra. But you all know that any cash which is coming in the business or going out of business, then it is recorded in the cash book. Got it? Therefore, here cash entry is not made in the journal proper. Cash would not be included in journal proper. That's why cash is not included here. Got it? Okay. You have to total these 3 amount. Out of them, deduct 5,000, you will get 16,000. So 16,000 is considered as capital account. To capital account also credited. Narration would be being furniture of rupees 10,000, stock of goods of rupees 8,000, debtors of rupees 3,000 and creditors of rupees 5,000 was brought as capital on starting the business. Here, note is also given that cash of rupees 15,000 brought in while starting the business will not be recorded in the journal proper, as it will be recorded in the cash book. Now let's see the second type of transactions which are recorded in the journal proper, that is transactions not included in the subsidiary books. Those transactions which cannot be included in any other subsidiary books then are included in the journal proper. Such transactions can be divided into 3 categories. So the first category is credit purchase or credit sale of an asset, and profit or loss on its sale is always recorded on the journal proper, and this transactions related to these transactions is never ever recorded in the other subsidiary books. Therefore, this is the first category which are recorded in the journal proper only. That is, credit purchase or credit sale of an asset and the profit or loss on its sale, it is always recorded in the journal proper. Transactions of credit purchase or credit sale of an asset. When asset is purchased or sold for the cash, then it is recorded in the cash book. But if the asset is purchased or sold on credit and its profit or loss on sale is recorded in the journal proper, this cannot be recorded in any other subsidiary books. For example, Mehul purchased a furniture of rupees 20,000 from Vivek Furniture Mart on credit. So, on credit, furniture was purchased on credit. Therefore, this would be recorded in the journal proper. So, what would be the entry? Furniture account debit, because furniture, or we can say asset, is coming in the business. Therefore, furniture account would be debited to Vivek Furniture Mart account. Because in the future, business has to repay the money to the Vivek Furniture Mart. Therefore, it would be credited to Vivek Furniture Mart account. 20,000, 20,000. And then second is sold on old machine whose book value is 10,000 to Maulik for rupees 8,000 on credit. So, old machine was sold to the Maulik. So, the original value of that machine, old machine, was 10,000. But now, business sold that machine to Maulik for 8,000. So, that would, if you can see, that the business originally purchased that machine for rupees 10,000. But now, business is selling that machine for rupees 8,000 to Maulik. So, you can find out that business has occurred a loss. So, 10,000 minus 8,000, you will get 2,000 difference. Got it? Because book value was 10,000, but it is sold on for 8,000. Therefore, loss on the sale of machine. So, obviously, Maulik's account would be debited. Maulik's account would be debited. Then loss. Why? Because cash has been paid. Like cash has been not paid, but in future business have to repay that money to Maulik. No, sorry. Here, like machine is sold, therefore cash is coming in the business. But cash is coming through whom? Maulik. Therefore, Maulik's, or we can say sale has been made. Therefore, Maulik's account would be debited 8,000. There is loss incurred. So, losses are always debited. So, write the loss on sale of machinery account also debited to machinery account, because asset is going out of the business. Therefore, to machinery account. Maulik is getting 8,000. Business has incurred the loss of rupees 2,000. So, machinery cost was rupees 10,000. Got it? Narration would be being machine of rupees 10,000 sold for rupees 8,000 on the credit. Then, second type is transactions for which subsidiary books are not kept. Many times when the proportion of the certain types of transactions is very less, a separate subsidiary books is not kept for them. Such transactions are recorded in the journal proper. For example, all the traders do not keep the subsidiary books for recording transactions of the bills. In such a situation, transactions of bills are recorded in the journal proper. At times, some traders do not keep returns book, that is purchase return books, sales return books, and then in such a situation, transactions of such returns or sales returns are recorded in the journal proper only. So, if in any circumstances, if the trader or business is not maintaining any subsidiary books, then related to the transactions will be recorded in the journal proper. So, transactions not included in journal in other subsidiary books includes credit purchase or credit sale of an asset and the profit or loss on its sale is always recorded in the journal proper, and transactions for which the other subsidiary books are not maintained, then again it would be recorded in the journal proper. Got it? Okay. So now we are going to stop here. In the next video, we would be seeing one example for how to record the transactions in the journal proper. So if you have any questions or any doubts, please feel free to comment below the video. Thank you.